What's up guys, Chris here. I recently lost 15 pounds, but I don't think I look as good as I thought I was gonna look. You can see from my before photos, and when you look at my after photos, I thought there'd be a bigger difference. I thought my abs would be more prominent, more cut, shoulders looking better, all that stuff. But I didn't. And there's three main reasons why. The first reason is I was wrong about my body fat. I'm walking around thinking I'm somewhere in the teens for body fat levels. 18%, maybe 19%, but clearly not over 20%. I would never let myself go that far above, being ripped and shredded and diced and sliced. So I'm thinking I'm at 18 or 19% body fat, which would mean me walking around 200, 201, 202 pounds puts me at about, 36 pounds of total body fat. So if I lose 15 pounds, that's almost half. My abs should look a lot better than what they did. Here's what really happened. In reality, I was over 20% body fat. I was probably more like 22 or 23% body fat. Meaning, at my 200 pounds, I'm really carrying 45, 46 pounds of fat on my body. So I lose 15, that's only 1/3 of my total fat levels, and that will explain why my abs aren't like I thought they would be looking. Not like back when I was in my 20s and didn't have, the wife, the kids, the responsibilities. But nowadays, I do, and I just didn't look like what I thought I could look like. But now, reason number 2. Fat doesn't come off of your body where you want it to. I want it to come from my tummy. That's where I want it to come off of. But in reality, fat is kind of, let me give you 2 analogies. Analogy number 1 is if you're draining a swimming pool. You've got the shallow end and you've got the deep end. Even though the water is coming down inch by inch, foot by foot, the exact same amount, you notice the difference in the shallow end before the deep end. The shallow end, the water is below your knees, while the deep end, it's still over your head. This is what happens with body fat. For me, my shallow end could be my arms, my shoulders, calves, legs, but not my belly. That, for me, is my deep end. That's going to take the time. I'm going to have to actually go and drain the shallow end first, and then I will start to see bigger changes in the deep end. Analogy number 2, a roll of toilet paper. Your body fat comes off your body like this. So while you are getting thinner overall, you really don't notice the difference in the middle, which is where you really want to see it right here. So it's going to take time because the fat is coming from everywhere, but you really are concerned about the tummy. So I just have to have the patience to know that as long as I stick with the caloric deficit day after day, week after week, and not pig out on Memorial Day and use it as an excuse to add 6 or 7 pounds just because I was eating as many potato chips as is humanly possible, that the fat loss will continue. Reason number 3, carbs and water. First of all, carbs is a shortening of the word carbohydrate, which is really 2 words, carbon and hydration, meaning water. See, for every 1 gram of carbs that you have in your body, you have 4 to 6 grams of water associated with that individual molecule of carbohydrate or gram of carbohydrate. So since a human body can store between 4 to 5, maybe even upwards of 600 grams of carbs, you could actually have an additional 2,000 to 2,500 grams of water with you. So it's entirely possible that if you have over 500 grams in your body, stored in your liver, in your muscles, and in your blood, then you might have an additional 5 pounds of water associated with that. What this means in relation to a 15-pound weight loss is I'm thinking, hey, I've lost 15 pounds of fat. In reality, what happened is when I entered the sustained caloric deficit, some of that 15 pounds was water. In fact, there's a very good chance that I really lost 10 pounds of fat and 5 pounds of water, or maybe even 9 pounds of fat, 1 pound of muscle, and 5 pounds of water. Hopefully I didn't lose any muscle because I was lifting weights this entire time. I'm still working the legs, the chest, the back, all the major muscle groups, and my strength levels stayed the same on many exercises, and in fact in some I actually increased. I was able to add weight or add reps with the same weight. So when you can go and add reps and weight while in a caloric deficit, that's a pretty good sign that you're not losing a lot of muscle and you're holding on to a good bunch of it. So those are my 3 reasons why my abs just didn't look like what I thought they'd look like, and why maybe you don't look like what you thought would happen after losing 15 pounds. So for me personally, it looks like I've got to lose another maybe 5 to 10 pounds, hopefully only 5 to 10 pounds, to actually get the abs that I once had a long, long time ago. Hey, thanks for watching. Make lots of comments and all that good stuff. Like, subscribe, all the other things. Hey, hang on a second. And she would tell you to like and subscribe as well.